Hey, in this workshop, I will present you Sismo Connect, which our crypto-native SSO single sign-on. I hope you will like it and you will like hacking on it. So I'm Leo, I'm the CTO of Sismo. So at Sismo, with Sismo Connect, we want to bridge personal data to applications. So you have a user here with his own data, as like you can see with his gems, and he wants to bring this data to applications. So for instance, me, I have a ENS, I have some follower on Sismo.lens, and this is my public and personal data. I have also a very private wallet, which contains all my bank accounts, some NFT, some transaction I made on Instagram, and I also have a more Web2-like account. For instance, my Twitter account where I have all my followers, and I follow Sismo, for instance. So, yeah. For instance, an application will need this data. Let's take the example of a ZK drop. It's an airdrop gated to Sismo Twitter followers. So I want to bring the I follow Sismo data and only this data. The ZK drop will verify I own this data and get me the airdrop. Another example is the ZK sub. It's a mailing list gated to NFT holders without knowing exactly which address owns this NFT. For instance, so I will send the fact that I am NFT ownership, for instance, a CryptoPunk ownership, and my email will be registered to a mailing list. So how can this be possible? You have what we call the user data vault, where you will, it's like a password manager where you will generate a ZK proof of the data you own without revealing exactly the accounts that own it. You will send the ZK proof to the application, and the application will verify this ZK proof. So let's dig a bit into the data vault. So inside this data vault, I will add all my different accounts. I will sign a proof of ownership, a signature, to prove that I own these accounts. So I have my leo21.is, I have with all my data inside, I have my Twitter accounts, and whenever I need to share a data with an application, I will generate this ZK proof. This ZK proof can be verified either on-chain, directly on a smart contract, so we provide some libraries for that, and we will see it after during the workshop, or off-chain, that can be verified directly into a backend of a more Web2 traditional application. So this protocol communication between application and personal data and the Sismo Data Vault is called Sismo Connect. It's a crypto-native single sign-on SSO. So with this Sismo Connect, I can do, I have mainly three features. I can do an authentication. That means I can bring the fact that I own my Leo21 Twitter accounts, and the application won't have to verify it again, just verify the Sismo Connect proof. I can do some data claims. That means I can claim that I own a CryptoPunk, and without revealing in which account I have this CryptoPunk exactly. Or I can do a message signature to signal something. For instance, I can say, okay, I vote yes, or I vote no, I agree, I disagree, etc. So, and we can do all of this into a same interaction flow with our data vault. So inside the one proof, I will have these three facts, for instance, and I will be able to combine them. So Sismo Connect, you have an application, let's say with a front end and a back end, a smart contract, and you will add some snippet of code in each part to be able to interact with the user data vault. So in the front end, you will add a button, which is our sign in with Sismo button. By clicking on it, you will do a Sismo Connect request to the user data vault. I will show you a demo after. you will generate the ZK proof of the data requested inside your browser directly, and you will send back this response to the application that can then verify it in a backend or in a smart contract, so either off-chain or on-chain. So yes, what is interesting here in the data vault is like when you add your address, the data vault can infer all the data you own associated to this data vault. So for instance, here we can see that we have this data gem inside that is added the more you add accounts inside it. So the layerized structure of the data vault, you have first an authentication you can made with the vault directly. So for instance, an application can request their user to connect with the data vault directly without needing the user to have added a different Web2 account. So just by the fact that you have a Sismo data vault, you can request your user to single sign-on with it, and you will have a user ID inside your application that you can use as a user ID to authenticate a user. So and then you have the other layer where you can add different type of data source. So for now, we have Twitter account, GitHub account, and EVM accounts. Then you have all what we call the data claims. You can claim to have some data inside your data vault, and this is due to the fact that you have added a lot of different type of data source. So if you add, I don't know, all your accounts inside this Sismo data vault, you will basically be able to prove a lot of different type of data gems. So this is the data ownership part. And finally, you will be able for each interaction between your application and the Sismo data vault to add some message signatures that you can approve or not inside the Sismo data vault. So let's dig into the authentication part. So from the app, you do a Sismo Connect request, and you request the authentication from being a Twitter account. So the Sismo data vault will generate this ZK proof and send back to the application that can see effectively the Twitter account user ID inside the app, and the app will be sure that this Twitter account has been verified. So it's like a Web2 SSO, but you can request a lot of different types of Web2 accounts in the same time. So with the DevX we have created, it's very easily to ask for a Twitter account, a GitHub account, and an EVM account in the same proof. You can also authenticate with an Ethereum account, so it's the same. You do a request with this Ethereum account, and you have the response from the Sismo Connect. So it's like a sign-in with Ethereum, basically. So let's see now the data claims. So data claims, what is it? A claims is like, for instance, I follow Sismo on Twitter. I have contributed to the Sismo core organization on GitHub. I have an ENS. I follow Sismo.lens on Lenster, Lens protocol. And I have more than one Ether. So for instance, the aggregation. So this is all the different type of claims I can do from all my data that I have imported into my Sismo data vault. And with this data, I can do claims. For instance, I have more than one Ether, or I have made at least one transaction, or I have some comparator I can use to do some more granular request on this data. For now, this type of claims are basically group membership claims. So I will show you after. We have a whole infrastructure that handle to create some groups, and inside the protocol we are using zero knowledge proof, and this zero knowledge proof helps to prove that you are part of a group of a list of different type of users that have the same type of characteristic. For instance, we can see it with the same color here. So if you want to add a new type of data claims inside the Sismo Connect, you will have to create the group of all the users that share the same characteristic. For instance, here we can see the ENS holders groups, a particular NFT owners group, or a proof of humanity registrants group. You have also the value, so you can see the account identifier, the Ethereum address here, and the value, and you can, inside your data claims, request a value lower or exactly equal to the value you have inside the group. So let's request, for instance, prove NFT ownership with privacy. So you do a Sismo Connect request to ask some particular data claims. Inside the prover in the Sismo Data Vault, we will generate a ZK proof to prove that you have this claim without revealing the account. And here it's a bank holder, and it will be sent back to the application that will verify this ZK proof and can then use it for its own logic. Finally, we have all the message signature, so it's like signaling an information. You from your app, you request with the message, okay, I voted yes for this governance proposal, for instance. It's the message that is going to be signed from the user. Inside the prover, so in the Sismo Data Vault, the user will approve and generate the ZK proof with this message inside the ZK proof. It will then be verified in the application, and we are sure that the user agrees with that. So now let's take a look in more detail into our DevX for this crypto-native single sign-on. So first, when you want to integrate it into your app, you need to create an app and authorize some domains in our factory.sismo.io. So let's go here in the factory. When you arrive, we can see that you can create some Sismo badge. So it's not in the scope of this workshop, but here you have the application. So it's currently called ZK Connect application. It will be renamed in Sismo Connect. And you have here the Sismo data groups that I will show you after. So in the ZK Connect apps, we can see that I have already different application, and we are going to create a new one for this workshop. So for instance here, East Global Tokyo application, and we will authorize the eastglobal.com domain and a local host, because I'm going to do the demo in local. Let's create it. So when I have created my application, I will have an app ID here. It will be used inside the snippet of code we are going to integrate into our app. And it will be used in the user Sismo Data Vault that will verify that the app corresponds to the domain that do the request, mainly for security reason. Okay, so let's say now we want to integrate this Sismo Connect into our application, and this application will be the ZK sub. So let me start by a demo. So you can go over there. It's a demo.zksub.io. Here we want to get the email addresses of all the contributors to the merge. So we have currently a group of all the contributors to the merge that was made by Team Beko. And we are going to gate this mailing list with the fact that you are well into this group, and we won't know exactly who you are inside the group, but at the end we will have the list of all the email address of the different users that did this flow. So I start by doing the sign in with Sismo. I'm redirected to the Sismo Data Vault. Here I can see that the Sismo Data Vault want to request some data. I need to have the merge contributor group to be part of this group. So I can see here the list of all the accounts. I'm going to show you that are inside this group. I can go there and check. And I can see here also the group generator. So the group generator is the code that is executed at a specific frequency. It's like infrastructure as a service that generates automatically the group, and it can be dynamic. So you can have a frequency here of daily frequency that will regularly update the group when we change it. So all here is open source. You can do a pull request to update and so on. So I do connect. It asks me to be eligible. That means to have the data inside my Sismo data vault. So I have the fact that I'm a major contributor. So here I can see my all different accounts. So I have this is a demo, so it's a fake data, but you have vitalik.is, you have a Twitter account, GitHub account, and some very private wallets. For instance, you do generate ZK proof. The ZK proof, once generated, is sent back to the application that verifies it, and I can enter my email, and it will be added into the backend, and by verifying also that the ZK proof is valid. So let me show you in more detail how it works. So this repository is open source. You have a link here. It's Sismo Course ZK sub. And we just have to add this Sismo Connect button. It's a React button in the front-end part. And this package here to verify the Sismo Connect response and to be sure that it's valid. So under the hood, it will verify the ZK proof that was replied by the Sismo data vault. So let me show you a bit. I have a local host instance here, and we will update the code. So here I am in the front-end part. I have here the app ID I want to target. So this is the ZK sub 1, the one I presented you. And now we will use the new one we have just created. So it's here. I can change it here. So we say this is Tokyo. Okay, let's go again here. And so when I do sign in with Sismo, I can see that now it's the East Global Tokyo that are requesting to have access to this data. So now let's say we want to request some particular data. So this is the merge contributor. We are going to create here in our Sismo factory a new data group. Oh, I think I've prepared it there. So here in this data groups, I can search for different data groups. For instance, let's say we talked about proof of humanity. So let's find it. Proof of humanity. I can find it here. So you have 17,000 users. You can see here the group generators. So this one is more interesting because it's updated at a weekly frequency, and it will use data providers to get all the data. So data providers are a way to get all the data for the group. It can be, for instance, a call to a REST API, to GraphQL API, to some BigQuery stuff that are indexed into the blockchain. Here it's subgraph data providers. So we request this subgraph ID. We have our request. We map the result of this request, and we generate our groups. So I showed you the code, but now let's create a new data group. So here I have the already in the factory directly. So in no code, you can create the name of your data group and add eligible accounts. So you can, for instance, add your accounts inside the list. Let's add it here. But you can also directly use the data providers that are here. So all the Sismo Web is open source. So when you create new data providers for the community, it will appear here automatically. So you can. We have also some bounties to create data providers and to let them add here. So let's say, for instance, we are going to get also all my lens follower. My lens, and I see that I have my eligible accounts. And then I will have a union between my list, my manual list, and this follower from lens. I will say that I want a daily upgrade, eligibility description, so groups for at global Tokyo workshop, and the technical specification is how we can be inside this data group. So having been added manually by Leo or following Leo 1.8 lens on lens. Okay, let's create this group, and then we can see here that this group has been created. I have a pull request associated. It goes to the Sismo hub, and we can see that the code has been automatically generated. So here we have group generators with the frequency of daily. We can see that we have our static list where I added my Leo 21 address, and I have also the use of the lens provider to call all the followers from leo21.is. I do then a union of these two data, and it's used inside my my group. So yeah, this was how we can use a group. So now let's update here on our code. So we were doing the update of the local environment. So we want here, when we click here, to change the group ID. So let's find a group ID that suits us. So we are going to take the proof of POH group. I'm taking this so I can copy paste it here very easily. Let's go to the code. I'm just changing my, so here in the button, we can see that I'm doing a NOT request to have a Vault ID that will be used as a user ID into my application to register the email to this particular user ID, and to avoid that the user can add a lot of different type of email. I will do a claim of being member of this group. So I've just changed it here. Let's go again, doing the sign in with Sismo. And I can see that here now I have the proof of humanity requested data. So yes, we have seen that it was very easy to integrate the Sismo Connect button into the front-end part. Let's go now see the backend part. So in the same repository, you have the front and back folder. Here you have the root, which is the subscribe, where you add your email at the end of the flow. So you have your email and the Sismo Connect response, and you will verify it directly. So you use the ZK Connect library. So the Sismo Connect library, you will verify the Sismo Connect response that corresponded well to the request you did and the group ID that you wanted, basically. When it's verified, you can extract your user ID and use it to store the associated email. So you can find the different piece of code here into this repository. And now you can do exactly the same thing, but on-chain. And this is another demo, which is our, zkdrop.io. So in this demo, we are going to do zk drop to a NFT, which is a non-transferable NFT in this particular case. So you prove that you are part of this list, and you can mint this NFT to any of your addresses, and we don't know exactly who you are inside the list. So you click on get your pass, you add a destination, let's say italic.is, add destination. You do then the sign in with Sismo. We arrive on the Sismo data vault. We can see that we have a message signature request. This is used to avoid front running of our ZK proof and our transaction. So here we have encoded the destination account who will have this NFT at the end. We do generate ZK proof. We are redirecting back to the ZK drop, and we can in one transaction directly mint our merge or pass NFT. So let's now dig a bit into the smart contract library. So here you just need to import the ZK Connect Solidity library with Sismolib to extend your contract with the ZK Connect and declare your app ID like that. So it's a little bit like on the backend that we see just before. And now we are going to claim with Sismo Connect to have our NFT. So we just bring the Sismo Connect response as a byte. It's already well formatted, and the address where we want to have it. We verify, so this function is injected directly thanks to this ZK Connect library inside our contract. We verify this Sismo Connect response, and we verify that it corresponded well to our group ID, the group ID of our merge contributor. Once it's verified, we can directly use our user ID, the user ID that comes from the vault that is specific to us. And so the user ID is computed into ZK as being the user ID equal hash of the vault secret and the app ID. So it's very specific to me inside the ZK drop application. But as I'm always using the same Sismo data vault, it will be used as an authentication layer. My token ID, I can then mint directly on this token ID the token. So yeah, same here. All is directly open source. You can find it on our on this repository. So now to build on Sismo, we have our docs.sismo.io. The build.sismo.io is will detail all the information on the easiest way to build on top of Sismo. You have also the builders.sismo.io, which is a Telegram group where you can enter and ask for help, or you will see other Sismo builder there. And you have our GitHub organization where all what we are doing is open source. You have all our different repos there, and you can dig into it. So yeah, thank you for your time. Hope you enjoy the Sismo Connect. And we also are hiring, so just have a good hackathon and enjoy your time hacking. Bye.